You look great. Fantastic.
Thanks, man. It's the new look. It's the new look. You're liking it. You're feeling it.
Oh, very much so. It's dignified. It's wizened.
I don't want to do too much. I want to keep it low key, you know?
You mean when you walk in the room, it takes people like 10, 15 minutes, but they figure out you arrived?
I'm dead. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, it's been an incredible ride up to this point. I'm so glad that you're back. Holiday is such a smasher. We just played Cash Page. This is one of the most amazing and essential new voices in R&B. I called it like, I don't know, maybe 9 months ago. I said, if she's not winning a Grammy in the next 2 years, what are we even doing here? There's something so incredibly authentic about Cash Page. You know what I mean?
Exactly. She's amazing. She's like, I feel the stories, you know? I feel it. I can say it definitely feels like super authentic. It's like I'm living in what she's singing. I don't know. It takes me to like a world, you know?
Yeah. And you know, it's so beautiful that you chose to, for her music to go side by side with Frank Ocean, because nobody paints pictures like Frank. No one applies that detail that we unpick over and over again and discover new things every time we listen to it. How does Frank factor into your life as a fan and also as an artist? Because you can be both without being mutually exclusive, if you know what I mean.
I think artists like Frank in general, and like Tyler and whatever, like they made it easier for me to be where I am, you know, comfortably. Also, Provider was like a very special song to me during like this relationship I was in. So yeah, you go Frank. He's amazing.
It must have been nice to have the space though to be able to explore it. I mean, you would never have done that at the pace you were moving before. Was that kind of also part of what you wanted to stay grounded for 2020? I know we had no choice as a species, but the fact that you could explore personal relationships, which over and over again I speak to artists, it comes up as the number one sacrifice of success, a loss of personal relationships.
I'm such a loner of a person. I honestly like being alone, you know? And sometimes I'll convince myself like, no, I need more people around me. But then I'm like, I want to be alone again, you know? And so relationships for me have been like, you know, in and out. I guess it's mostly because I still don't know what I want in a relationship or whatnot. Because, you know, I didn't get to date when I was younger. So yeah, definitely interesting.
I want to play Phoenix next, if that's cool, because I have this enormous love of this French band and the fact that they make me dance and happy, but also it's like this crazy wistful.
I did not know Phoenix was French.
They are French, my man. Oui, oui.
That's amazing.
Oui, oui. And
that's one of my favorite songs ever.
Well, because it makes you really happy, but it also makes you really reflective.
I like to look out the window listening to this. You know, like imagine I'm in a movie or something.
They're so cinematic. How did you discover the song? How do you discover it? Because you have a really broad taste. And I wonder sort of when you started to recognize that your musical taste was really vast and not just locked into one genre, as is the case with a lot of young kids, you know?
With this song, honestly, I think I first found this song when I was like a child. It was like in this car commercial. I was like, yo, what the heck is this? I was like, that sounds amazing. And then like the years later, I actually found the song again. And then I found some of Phoenix's other songs, and it was just like a journey for me.
Yeah, but then I heard Seven, and I was like, oh no, this is like drawing on all these different influences. So it's almost like it felt to me like, oh no, you were trying to reestablish that diversity in taste and your taste through your music. To tell people, don't box me in.
100. That's definitely probably the main goal of Seven for me. Because it's like, I know doing Old Town Road in general, it's like, or doing Panini or any other song, it's like, no, I'm going to make what I want to make, and I don't care what even my fans have to say about it. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's going to be my music that I'm putting out into the world, you know?
That brings us to album talk, and I'd love for you to share a little bit about sort of what you've been making, how you're feeling about it. I'll leave it pretty open-ended for you to kind of fill in the gaps.
This album exuberates, like, confidence, like, creativity, just me completely stepping out of comfort zone and saying whatever I want and giving my actual stories, like giving my fans something to take from me, you know, because Seven was cool. I love Seven. It's great. But it wasn't personal enough. And I feel like that's exactly what this album's going to bring.
What else has been going on this year? I mean, apart from, you know, falling in and out of relationships and finding your voice in a different way, what other sort of significant things have occurred this year that you feel have added to your growth?
I feel like strengthening the relationship with myself, you know, which is very underrated and unsaid, and like learning to like love myself more and realizing that sometimes I wasn't doing that, you know, just being more confident in what I'm doing and blocking out anybody's negativity if I don't feel like if it's not good critique, then it's not for me, you know?
Was it confusing for you that perhaps you weren't really recognizing your own inequality, and yet the whole world was showering you with praise? Was that the most confusing time for you? Like, how come I don't feel the same way about myself that everybody else feels about me?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I guess I like grew up a lot having like this hidden self hatred like for myself, you know, and not even realizing that it was there. And I guess having something where I could be super creative and express myself, it's definitely brought it forward, you know, like how much no matter what happens, like I'm always gonna be there for myself, you know? And you know, I used to always like depend on somebody else or other people like for that love and attention. You know, it's right here, you know, within me.
We just played Brockhampton, and we also played some Miley Cyrus in the playlist as well. Two artists who have been fearlessly open and honest about who they are, and therefore amplified the conversation around who you can be as an individual and not who society expects you to be. And that kind of refers back to what we were talking about before, about the idea of loving yourself and appreciating who you are. You know, you crossed that threshold, I thought, and I sent you a message, and we've spoken about it. You crossed that threshold so beautifully at a time when you were at the ultimate popularity. You know, I don't want to paraphrase you wrong, but it's something along the lines of, I kind of figured you all knew. And it was just such the most perfect way of just throwing away any of the drama around how you identify and who you love and who you're attracted to. It was like, really? Is this really a thing? And I wonder if that was kind of your way of helping everybody else. But did it feel like a big thing to you? Because you made it seem really easy, but often it isn't. It isn't easy to make those kind of statements in public.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like, you know, I have my angels with me at all time. And I just felt like I was just getting signs, okay, it's time to do this thing. Because it's like I'm already moving forward and I'm becoming more free with everything I do. So let's take this to the next level and, you know, do this. Because, I mean, it was either going to be that or what, like pretend this for the rest of my entire life and also not be able to express that in what I do, my music, you know.
Billie Eilish shows up on the playlist, a fellow Apple Music Award winner, which is a beautiful thing, and we loved obviously honoring you in that fashion. Billie and Phineas are just an incredible partnership as brother and sister and creative duo, but also Billie herself as a human being is raw and honest and upfront and unafraid, right? And you must really identify with her in that regard, aside from the music, that she's just an unafraid human being.
Billie is just like so amazing and talented. And that's exactly like the main reason I love her. Like what you just said, she's going to do whatever the fuck she wants. And she's fucking apologizing for it. And she's going to say how she feels about whatever. And like, I really admire that.
How do you get yourself over that line in those moments? Because you have made some significantly brave steps and statements that now just seem like they're a part of the conversation, but you're one of, if not the first to do it. So let's talk a little bit about where that courage comes from.
I guess it just comes from the point that I know, like, I'm here for a reason, you know, like especially definitely music, but it's like beyond that. It's like all of us, if I feel like we're put in a certain place in this universe, it's definitely for more than what we do or like what we see ourselves as doing. So it's like, I know I'm here for much bigger reason, you know? So I want to definitely step into these conversations and start these conversations because I know my word means something, you know? It's definitely going to raise more eyebrows than if I would have said it 2 years ago as the same person.
You know, the idea of destiny and the ability to be able to see yourself in the grand scheme of life and the experience that we all live and not get lost in all of the, you know, thrash, recognize you have purpose, can come from a place of faith, from spirituality. It can come from just being instilled with these beliefs at a young age. Like, how do you form an opinion like that of yourself when the whole world is just, I feel like we're all just crawling over each other a lot at the moment?
Just seeing the way that things line up, seeing the way that things fall into place and how the ball falls into your hand in different situations like everything's a chance. And more often than none, you know, I definitely want to step into that. And I definitely, you know, I see signs and synchronicities, you know, that, okay, this is why I have to do this. This is why I have to do that. You know, everything makes sense for me.
You know, it was such a crazy 18 months, you know, 2 years or so that you came out. Billy was around, Lizzo was around, Juice came through. Juice just changed everything. And then Juice left and we lost him. And it was just, I can't even imagine how it was for family and friends and those that worked with him. But as a fan and someone who met him a little bit, it was a real hard one. It was a tough one. It's a really tough one to take and to hear that news. Did you ever have a chance to kind of connect with him, or is there a story that you have with Juice? Because you both came up at exactly the same time.
I have no story with Juice, but like there was this time where I was like on this red carpet, and you know, people always would ask me, who would you like to work with? But for the first time, I had like, okay, yeah, I want to work with Juice WRLD, because I had never said that, and I don't really know why, because he's definitely a big influence on me. And the next day is when he passed, which was like super crazy.
The Earth, Wind & Fire September keeps showing up right here. People just need this clearly. The song is just so unreal. Is that something you grew up listening to in the house, or how do you discover September? How does EWF play a part?
Oh my God, my grandmother loves them so much. And you know, beyond that, just hearing this song in any movie or any occasion, I'm just like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
Let's talk about Bloom and how that felt, because it's one of those moments that when you get a shot to work with an artist who's no longer around and you get to work with the estate and do something like that. And we never really touched on it because I was just still trying to make sense of it all when the music came out. Looking back on that is crazy.
You know what's insane? I don't know if I told you before, but I didn't even know that I like subconsciously accidentally like sampled Nirvana. So, or after that, I listened to that album for the first time in my life. I know I've seen the cover a million times, but I listened to it for the first time. I'm like, this is unworldly, you know, unworldly. And that's how I found this song. This is my favorite Nirvana song.